Hi! There are a lot of young adult series out there. There are more series being written every day. There are more series being discovered and loved. There are also a lot of series that I have absolutely zero interest in reading. And that's what this video is going to be about today. So I thought I would share with you 5 different book series that I just kind of don't really have any interest in reading, and I can't see myself reading anytime soon, if ever. Let's just have a little disclaimer here. Don't get offended if I mention your favourite book series or a series that you love. I'll go into each of the reasons why I feel like I'm never going to read these books, but if these are your favourite series, then sure, let me know in the comments if you love them, but please don't get offended if I mention something that you love, because I mean, we all have different opinions, so it would be boring if we all like the same books, wouldn't it? So let's go. So number 1 on the list is Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas, and I feel like as soon as Sarah J Maas is pulled into one of these lists that could be seen as slightly negative, so books that you don't want to read or books that people don't like, there's always kind of a mob of people who are ready to just kind of launch themselves and just be like, why? I don't really have a particular reason why Throne of Glass is something that I'm just not interested in, but that's it. It's just something that I'm really not interested in reading. I am not a high fantasy kind of person. I think kind of like the biggest fantasy book that I bought recently was The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, and that's because it's been so massively hyped by everyone, and people are saying that the kind of feminist aspects in it are amazing, and that's the kind of thing that I'm here for. But Throne of Glass, I've just seen so many kind of mixed things with people saying, oh my god, it's amazing, or yeah, it's alright, I'm not bothered. And it's just a series that I'm really not bothered to try, so. Number 2 is the Uglies series by Scott Westerfeld. Now, that might be a bit of a throwback for you, that might be one that's like, oh my god, I forgot that was even a thing. It's one of those series that kind of launched the whole young adult dystopian genre years ago, and I think that's pretty much the only reason that I feel like I'm never going to read these books, is just because they're so kind of done. Like, dystopian, as much as I love a really good dystopian book, like I would count all of Neil Chesterman's books as dystopian, he's my favourite author ever. The kind of Hunger Gamesy dystopian type young adult book I feel like has kind of had its time now. Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason. I mean, I used to own them and I think I gave them to a charity shop because they just sat on my shelf for like 2 years and I just never had any chance or any interest in picking them up and reading them. So yeah, they've made the list. So I mean, the premise, I guess, is still kind of interesting, but I don't have time to read books that I'm not that excited to read. So we have another Sarah J Maas series next. I hope you don't think I'm just kind of targeting Sarah J Maas, but as I said, high fantasy isn't my thing, and anything where the characters are hard to pronounce, and I'm gonna sit there kind of trying to plough through something that just isn't my kind of cup of tea. I just know that I don't have time to read, and that is The Court of Thorns and Roses, that's the series name, right? I don't know if the book has, like, if these books have a series name. The Court of Thorns and Roses series, you know what I mean. Again, this was one that I owned and then I ended up giving away to someone because I had no interest in carrying on with it. I just really didn't want to pick it up. I tried reading like a couple of chapters, so I gave it a good go, but it just wasn't for me. I couldn't get into it at all. So yeah, that's just another one that I can't be bothered with. Number 4, I feel a bit bad saying, because it's a classic and everybody who is a fan of this is probably going to be like, oh my god, you need to read the books because they're incredible. And that's The Lord of the Rings, and I can already feel the people coming for me. They're so long, these books. They're so incredibly long. I've read The Hobbit and like it was alright. I read it when I was still in school, I think, and it was alright. Like, I didn't love it, it was just good. And Lord of the Rings, the books are just so long and I don't have time to read books that are that long. Says me, where I just said I bought Priory of the Orange Tree. Lord of the Rings, like, I don't know, 50,000 pages, and I can't be bothered. I might pick them up at some point. I don't know, maybe I'll try the audiobooks or something so I don't have to try and read the whole book. I can just listen to it as I'm doing other things. But no, again, it's the high fantasy thing. These are all high fantasy that just I can't deal with. Contemporary and sci-fi is more my thing. And yeah, I've just kind of admitted to myself now that there's no point in me trying these things because I know that it's just not my thing. So, Lord of the Rings fans, I'm sorry, please don't come for me. Number 5, and the final series on this list, is another one. I feel like I'm just setting out to kind of make people come for me with their pitchforks here, but another one which I think kind of follows the same pattern as the rest is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. I know a few people who have read this. I mean, I know lots of people who have read this, but I mean personally, my friends, I know a couple of people who have read this series and they've just said that it wasn't good, like it wasn't for them, they didn't like it. And I have had literally zero interest in picking up these books to read them. Like I think I've read the blurbs, I've seen that there's a show on Netflix. I don't know anything about the series at all, really. I just know that I have absolutely no interest in picking it up. Yeah, I don't even particularly know what to say about this because as I said, maybe I should research it a bit more before I do videos like this, but I know for sure that anything in that kind of whole series, I can't remember what the whole you know, world, you know, like Grishaverse, where it's like this whole massive world and there's loads of series in one. I find those so hard to get on board with because I wouldn't know where the hell to start. Especially when people say that you need to read this book first and then this and then this. You know, like people do with the Star Wars films, where they're just like, you need to watch them in this very specific order, otherwise they don't make sense. I don't know. I'm not into all that. That is the same as all of Cassandra Clare's books, so like the Infernal Devices books as well. It's just such a massive world that I just feel like I just don't have the time or energy or effort to kind of set foot in and try and work my way through them. So yeah, all of those books are on my list of ones that I know I'm probably just never going to read, and I'm okay with that. I've accepted that now. I've accepted that there are so many books out there that I just will never read, and that's okay. So let me know what's on your list of books that you'll probably never read, or ones that you've tried and you just didn't like, or let me know if you agree with any of the ones that I've just said. If you think that I should give them a go, then by all means let me know, but I don't know if it'll change the fact that with most of these books I've just got no interest in trying them out, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I'll see you soon, and let me know if you've got any kind of suggestions or whatever, and yeah, I'll see you soon.